Hey guys, it's Overlord here, back again with another video, and today we are having a look at the top 10 Marvel Legends figures that were released regular retail in 2015. This video is going to focus on the 6 core waves that were out, no exclusives, just because I wasn't able to pick any of them up, most of them anyway. But these figures scored at least a 9 or higher in my initial review of them, or my opinion about figures / characters changed since my initial review of them, thus giving them a higher score. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 10, I'm going to have to go with the Valkyrie figure from the Hulkbuster wave. Now this is one we've been needing an update on, and granted, it's not what everyone wanted, for the most part. It is a cool figure. The head sculpt is really the only issue, but other than that, it's fine. I guess it more or less depends on how well the head sculpt is painted on your particular copy, but yeah, so Valkyrie takes the number 10 spot. Number 9, I'm gonna have to go with Tiger Shark from the Ultron wave, literally just sharking his way in at the last second. I made some adjustments to the list, and I thought this guy was awesome. Now, I know not all of you did. You thought his paint was something to be desired. Well, other than that, he's really cool. The head sculpt is awesome. My particular copy is not that bad. Or at least my particular figure, I guess is a better way to put it. So, in other words, this thing is, I think, underrated. I think it's cooler than the Bulldozer figure, probably because I don't have the other Wrecking Crew, so therefore I really don't give a darn. So, I think this guy, though, is awesome, and I highly recommend you pick him up. So he takes the number 9 spot. Number 8, I'm going to have to go with Doctor Strange from the Hulkbuster wave. This is the last figure from that wave that is on this list. The only reason he didn't score a little higher is because his neck's a little spring-loaded and these little effect things. Kind of a pain in the butt. I'm using the smaller clips on them so they actually stay in place, but they're still not easy to get on. And then, yeah, the head spring-loaded, I mean, he's kind of looking up and cocked to the side a little bit, but he would have scored higher if it wasn't for that. Other than that, I highly recommend you pick this guy up. It's a cool figure and a cool addition to your Midnight Suns. Doctor Strange. Number 7 spot is a two-way tie between Scarlet Witch from the Odin wave and Spider-Woman from the Thanos wave. Now, the only reason these are a tie is because they're the same body, the same base body. So, if they weren't, they more or less, I suppose, would have been different spots. But Spider-Woman has her own charm with the interchangeable wings, and then Scarlet Witch with her power effects. But the only reason these two didn't score higher is because Spider-Woman, you gotta watch the yellow, and Scarlet Witch is kind of a pain to stand. Other than that, they're great figures. Highly recommended. And my number 6 spot is gonna have to go to the new base body for 2015, going into 2016, and that is Grim Reaper from the Ultron wave. And there are not a lot of Grim Reaper figures, and the only other one I can think of is the 3 3/4 inch one. But I just wanted a quick follow up from my last spot here. The Scarlet Witch and the Spider-Woman also made the list because they needed to be updated, like the Valkyrie, who was at number 10. But Grim Reaper here, the thing that also gets him this spot is, like Tiger Shark, he got the head sculpt. The reason he scored a little higher is because the anatomy on this base is a little better, and the scythe hand is really cool, and the paint's a little better as well. So that is why he gets the number 6 spot on the list. Number 5, I'm going to have to go with AntiVenom from the Hobgoblin wave. Solely for the fact that we needed this. We had Matt Gargan for a while. Plus that Marvel Select one will freaking make you bleed out. But this one overall is pretty cool. The reason he's only a number 5, and granted that is a pretty high spot, the black could have been applied a little bit better, and again the anatomy. But other than that, he scored really high in his review, and I thought this was an underrated figure for this year. And granted, he doesn't have shading, but you know, I don't care. I keep my standards low for these guys, and I don't think that's a major issue. So, AntiVenom, number 5. Number 4, I'm going to have to go with Daredevil, also from the Hobgoblin wave, which you're going to notice a pattern here with my final 5, and that is that the SpiderMan waves were the most well-executed and best appreciated waves, I believe, of 2015. Even last year with the Ultimate Goblin wave, not a lot of people liked the Ultimate Goblin, but most people agreed that was a pretty cool bath. I'm going to do a separate video for baths, just so I can keep this under the 15-minute time limit that I have. But Daredevil here is an awesome figure, and I don't know, I'm not feeling the Toy Biz one as much as this one. Granted, his batons aren't gummy candies, but that's okay. I can live with that. They're a little bit, they stay in his hands a little better made out of that. I'm not sure, but I guess if you'd sell Hellcat, which you really didn't need to buy if you got Spider-Woman, you could always switch the batons out, or, you know, paint these red or whatever. That's the only gripe. I wish these were like a dark red instead. But other than that, this figure is well worth the money, and is a really cool piece to add to your collection. And then, not just a 2-way tie, but a 3-way tie for the number 3 spot. We have all 3 Spider-Men that came out this year. We have the Pizza Spidey, we have the Scarlet Spider, and we have Spider-Man 2099. Now, these are the only Spider-Verse, I suppose you could say, characters that made the list, solely for the fact that that daggum female body doesn't stand. I was debating whether or not to put females on this list, solely for the fact that they don't stand. They just don't. They fall on me all the time, and it drives me insane. But I picked the sole 3 that I thought were worthy of being on this list. Speaking of the sole 3, these 3, I could not choose one. They're equally as good. Spider-Man 2099 a little better, because I like his design a lot more. He's an awesome version of Spider-Man that I'm glad we got this year. The Pizza Spidey's just off the charts. Mops the floor with most of the older Toy Biz ones. Introducing the new hand interchangeability, as well as head interchangeability, even including a half unmasked head, and of course, one of the most awesome accessories ever, a piece of pizza. And then the Scarlet Spider does the same thing without the extra head or the piece of pizza, but still is really cool. And these 2 over here are from the Hobgoblin wave, and Scarlet over there is from the Rhino wave. So now let's move on to my final 2 figures of the year. My number 2 spot has to go to Kraven from the Rhino wave. Variant in that wave is Chameleon, who does get an honorable mention because he was a really well done figure as well. I just do not like the suit body. I would have preferred the crazy jumpsuit from the 90s cartoon. That would have been a little better, but what are you gonna do? But Kraven here, oh my god, he's on the Grim Reaper body, which is probably my favorite base body that Marvel Legends has right now. But it's got nice tight joints, nice anatomy, well done anatomy, and a nice size. It's nice, and it's got that sort of medium-sized buck. You got your standard, you got your slender, you got your slightly large, which is this one, and then you got your hulked out, which is the Hyperion body. But this one was done really well. Lots of paint apps, lots of good shading. I mean, look at the skulls of whoever's kids those are. They probably feel like crap after that, but this is an amazing figure. I highly recommend, if you have $20, spend it on this. Don't buy anything else. Spend it on this. Or my number one pick, which is coming up right now. And my number one favorite Marvel Legend of 2015 is Ghost Rider. For one reason, and one reason only, we've been needing this SOB on this base, like the Marvel Universe one, for a while. And we finally got it this year in the Rhino wave. Like I said, the SpiderMan waves are the best ones. All the other ones are crap right now compared to the Spider-Man waves. Even the Build-A-Figures in the Spider-Man waves outshine the Avengers ones at the moment. That may change, but for the moment, like I said, they're not going to be stopped. So, with that in mind, this figure easily scored a 10 in his review, and I also gave one away to the cheapest man alive, Brian Starner, aka Toy Nuts. I'll probably get that out to you in the next few weeks, along with Sean Henry's package, and probably another package for T-Biz. But again, this figure is awesome, and I highly recommend, if you do not have it and you see it, use a credit card to get it if you're broke. Just get this figure, get it out of the way. It's amazing. Well sculpted, well painted, well detailed. Granted, doesn't come with a bike, but I don't care. You could buy the old one and use it. That's it. So, Ghost Rider, easily my number one Marvel Legend of 2015. And with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed my top 10 Marvel Legends of 2015. Granted, more or less top 13. But the figures on this list got at least a 9 or 10 in my initial review of them. Or I changed my thoughts about them as time progressed, which I've had, most of these figures for quite a while. So I've had time to change my opinions, and since those opinions have changed, it's all good. Oh yeah, and I got Spidey's knee fixed. So it's all good in the neighborhood. So, with that being said, I'm looking forward to 2016. Hopefully I'll be able to pick up as much as I did this year. Like I said, most exclusives I did not get or pick up. And yeah, so that's why those were not on this list. But I do have all the waves. I am missing Machine Man and Captain Marvel, however, but they wouldn't have made the list, so it does not matter. With that being said, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. I'm going to do a top 3 Build-A-Figures. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.